friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. Welcome to Wonderful Wednesday. This is a weekly tutorial series that I do here on my YouTube channel that's designed to inspire you to dig into your crafty stash and make something beautiful. This is October 2025, and all this month we've been working with Stamperia's gorgeous Whispering Woods collection. It is so whimsical and so perfect for fall, and what we are making is this amazing pop-up book. So we have done signatures 1, 2, and 3. And this week it is time to do signature 4, which is the last signature. And it's a good thing because this book is getting pretty chunky. So let me set some things aside. We'll bring in what we're working on this week and we'll get right with it. Don't go away. I'm going to work outside the book because I find it's a little bit easier. And we're going to start with an 11 by 8 inch piece of our cocoa bean cardstock. And we're going to score this at 6, which gives us this 4 3/4 by 8 flap on both sides. And then this nice 6 by 7 and 6 by 8 interior. And this is actually going to glue right down into the signature. So for starters, I want to go ahead and we'll line the inside. I think I'm going to build this inside out. I kind of like doing that. So this is a 5 3/4 by 7 3/4 inch panel of the 12 by 12 single-sided, single-faced cardstock. The companion page is a 4 3/4 by 7 3/4 inch panel of this pretty double-sided from the 12 by 12. And I think I'll put these on the back. Now, up to now, we've been doing our pop-up element in the middle of each signature. And I'm going to change that up this week. I have a really fun, really easy pop-up for us to make. And this is like a box. So this measures 6 1/4 by 6. And I have scored it 5/8 of an inch on the left-hand side. And I've scored it at 4 3/4 and 5 5/8. All right. So you'll notice that this side has 2 panels and this side only has 1 panel. And that's because this side is going to adhere onto this page. All right. And then this little flap is going to turn under and it's going to adhere on this page. So the first thing we're going to do is take some score tape. And because that is 5/8 of an inch, I would like 1/2 inch score tape. And I'm going to put this right here. Just like that. And then on this little 1/2 inch, I'm going to put 3/8 inch score tape. Now you can use liquid adhesive if you would like. I just want this to grip right away and not move on me. So that's why I'm using score tape. Whatever really strong double-sided adhesive you prefer. I'm a score tape girl. I love score tape. I think it's just a really great product. So I'm going to smooth this down. So before I put this in, it's easier to dress this up before you put it into your book. And I've got a little 1/2 inch by 5 3/4 inch piece of this plaid that we're just going to put on the side like this. This side won't be seen and this won't be seen, so we don't have to worry about that. Then I went into my paper stash and I found this beautiful mushroom image. This is from the 12 by 12 single face. And this fits in perfectly in this little center portion. It looks really good. All right, so we're going to glue that down. Your center portion, just so you know, is 4 1/8 by 6. Okay, here's my little fairy. She's so sweet. And I'm going to put her on this mushroom, like she's sitting there. All right. And I'm not gluing the top part because it might, see her little feet are right here. I don't want her wings to get stuck to the page. But see how sweet that is? That is so cute. And then down here at the bottom, this is from the junk journal. I've got these little pieces of like earth. I just want to ground it a little bit. Plus it's fun to create sort of a collage here. So this one's going to go this way. Oops, take it over here. Just like that. And this one with a little cabin on it. This was one piece and I just cut it into 2. It's going to go here. All right. I'm going to bring in my scissors and fold this and trim off anything that's running over the edge. Okay, so now we look like this. And now we're just going to dress this up with little mushrooms that we're going to stick down into just kind of bring some things into the foreground. And that's pretty good. I don't think we need to overdo it. Maybe a little leaf to go along the bottom, just kind of, again, anchor everything. So that's like her little fairy house that she's popped out of. To take a look around. So what we're going to do to start with is take this score tape off this 5/8 inch side. And we're going to line this up right at the fold. And we're going to close. And see, we lift and it adhered over onto this page. Now this one is so easy. You just peel off the tape, you fold it behind, you lay your page flat, and you stick it down. All right. And now what you've got is this really fun little pop-out box. See how that works? Isn't that so sweet? So this is it closed, and this is it open. Isn't that fun? So over on this side, I've inked up some of these little cards from the punch out, the junk journal book from the punch out pages. And you can't do anything dimensional over here because if you do, you won't be able to close your page, but you can do this. So we're going to put this down. How about right about here? All right. And then I have this one that is landscape oriented, and I'm going to put it down right about here. And then we can dress those up with, I don't know, little things. You can look through your stash and see what you like. Okay. And I have this little title right here that says Joy. let's put that right here. All right, and I think that's good. I'll find some little things to, stickers or something to put in there, but that's the basics. So this closes, and now we need to do our front page. So does this ever happen to you? Do you ever cut your papers wrong? And then you go, oh, what am I going to do with this paper? Well, here's a thing that you can do. This is supposed to be 4 3/4, and I foolishly cut it to 4 1/2. The height is right at 7 3/4, but the width is wrong. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to glue this down. And center it on the right-hand side of the page. So it looks like that. Then I went into my punch outs and I found this wonderful like partial tree. And what we're going to do is glue this down. I'll trim the top off and the bottom off, but we're going to glue this down on the left, and it looks like a design choice as opposed to a mistake. And that is how you fix a little measuring glitch. See how good that looks? Now the page actually looks like it has more dimension, which is really cool. I'm going to trim this off, top and bottom. Look at that. That is really neat, guys. That worked so well. Now we're just going to build a simple little scene on this page. And I have one of these little punch-out cards. And I'm going to glue it down to my page. Sort of centered top and bottom, but offset. See how I have more room here than here? And there's a reason for that. I've created this little burlap string piece for texture. I'm going to glue this down right in here. This is just going to give the element that I'm adding a little more makes it a little more noticeable, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Of course, I've glued my fingers to the page. Ignore that. And I'm going to take a pop dot. Cut it in half. These are from Button Farm Club, and I absolutely adore them. They are the best pop dots I have ever used. I love the little tab, and some pop dots you spend half your life trying to peel the adhesive off. These are not that way. So I'm going to set my little stump right here, just like that. And now I've got this beautiful, beautiful little fairy. I love her lightning bug lantern. I just think that is so precious. And I'm going to put pop dot here, and I'm going to put pop dot here. And if I'd thought about it, I would have glittered her wings a little bit, but I didn't think about it. So we're just going to have to let that go. And we're going to glue her down right here on this stump. So now, do you see what we've done? We have created dimension, but not a lot of thickness, but just a little bit of dimension. I want to put the moon up here in the sky. So see, we're kind of forming a bit of a triangle here, and that's always a good plan for crafting, because what it does is it draws the eye. So do you see how this is one point, her wings are another point, and the moon is another point? I'm going to glue this pine cone down. And even though it's kind of big, it's in the foreground, so I think we're okay. All right. I have these precious little flowers that I'm just going to tuck in right here behind the pine cone. And you can just watch as I build this page. Another thing to consider with composition is that threes are good. Things done in threes really seem to work. And that's because a lot of things in nature are made up in threes, if you think about it. But see, there's a mushroom, there's a mushroom, there's a mushroom. So that's 3. Now I'm just going to bring in some leaves to anchor this at the bottom. All right. I'm really pleased with that. And one of the best pieces of advice I ever had as regards composition is to stop before you think you're done and walk away for about 15 minutes and then come back, because you may find that you've added everything you need to add and your piece doesn't need anything else. But I do want one more little leaf tucked in under everything right here. And that, I think, is done. I may come back and add a little something, but right now I'm super happy with this. I've got this itty tiny pumpkin. That would look really cute right there. All right. So there's our pop-up page for this time. The other one will be made exactly the same. So now you know how to do it. I'm going to let you do it, and I'm going to get my other page made, and then I'll show you what I've done. All right, friends, now we're in the center part of this page, and I've already put down my 6x8 cocoa bean liners. And like I said last week, if I had this to do over again, I would build the signatures, then put them in the book. But it is what it is, so this is what we're doing. I went into my 12x12 double-sided cardstock and found this beautiful image. I scored it right up the center at 6, and then I scored it across the top at 7 3/4. And then I cut from this 6-inch down to the 7 3/4. And this makes these little flaps. So what we're going to do, I'm going to burnish these really well. We're going to glue this in 1 page half at a time. And I'm not going to put any glue in this center seam. So it's going to be not really a floating page, but it could be a little tricky if you try to. Well, actually, I think I cut these exact. These are 6 by 8. I didn't have to put the cocoa bean liners in. Oh, well, guys. What can I say? It's a Monday. It's a Monday. All right, so now I'm going to put my adhesive on this side. I wanted something fun in the middle, but not two-dimensional. Because, as I said, the book is getting really thick. All right, so now we open this out and see now our page is installed. And then these flaps will flip up like this and you get the whole beautiful image, which is so pretty. So I'm just going to bring in, I've got this little saying that says, I love fall most of all. I'm going to put this right here in this corner. With this little pumpkin right in the corner. All right. For this flap, I went into the 12 by 12 single-sided, and you can see I rounded the corners. I'm going to glue our little philosopher gnome in. Like this. I'm going to take this chipboard piece, and this is going to be our turn tab. And he needs his umbrella in case it rains on the way home. And then he's got a little cup of coffee because it's fall and the days are getting chilly. All right. So see, now this will flip up like this. On this page, I've got this Darling Pumpkin House. And I took this title from the chipboard instead of the Where Magic Grows. And this is going to go right here. And I've got this pretty chipboard heart to go underneath. All right, so it's like a lantern, so pretty. So that is that page. That's all I'm going to do there. I don't think we need to do a whole lot else. The image itself is so beautiful. And I know a lot of you despair over, what do I do with this beautiful big image? Well, now you know. You can score it and split it and make flaps. All right, my friends, that finishes the last signature in this book. If you haven't already built your book, I might say add a ½ inch to your spine because this turned out to be a chunky monkey. And I thought I was going to have plenty of room, but I had no idea how much space these dimensional elements would take up. So here's what we did this week. We have this lovely pop-up flip page with these cute little scenes that we built over here. We have these two flip up full 12 by 12 pages, which is really cool. I just took a couple of little images from, I think these are from the junk journal, and I just matted them on some cocoa bean. And originally I had this heart sticking out over the side, but then I realized it was going to stick outside the edges of the book, so I just folded it on either side. But that fits in there. Here is our second flip up page. I just created some little scenes here with stickers. These are from the junk journal. And these were both, because I bought 2 sets of chipboard, but don't tell. I took one of these grateful bows and I put the for you on it. So I'm grateful for you. And I love Mr. Froggy drinking his coffee over here. And this flips up. And all I did was add this little sentiment down here. I didn't do anything else there. And then this page opens, and here's our other flip. Now, this is one solid element. This is from, it's like this is from the 8 by 8 single faced pad. And it's the 4 little journal cards. And what I did was I cut 1/2-inch strips of this brown plaid to go top and bottom of the page. And then I cut 1/4-inch strips to make like this window pane effect. But this is so easy. It just took a second. And then I just added some little stickers to the background scenery to create this really delightful little page. And then here's our pop-up, made exactly the same as the pop-up. The first pop-up, it's got this really good box and the dimensions, everything the same. And this is from the 12 by 12 single face, and I just cut it to fit. So then I built this little scene, and I'll just tell you the order I put this down in. First I put the books down. Then I put the gnome on top of the books. Then I add the pumpkin, then the coffee cup. Then the lantern and this little glowing heart in the center of the lantern. And this little branch right here from the punch outs to add those little berries and that bright color. And then the last thing I did was this little title. This is the inside back cover. This is just a straight up 5 3/4 by 7 3/4 of the tree with the light on the inside. And I put our little fairy punch out up here, this little title that says Shine Bright, added a leaf, and then again built our gnome up on this piece of wood with an acorn and some berries. So that completes the inside. I can't believe that we're at the end of this. And next week when you come back, we will do the cover. I'm going to try to figure out some sort of a closure. This is a bit of a challenge, but I think if I put my mind to it, I can figure it out so that it will look really handsome. But again, if you haven't built your book yet, go ahead and add at least a 1/2 inch. I did a 2-inch spine, probably should have done a 2.5 or maybe even a 3-inch spine. I had no idea that these pages were going to get so healthy. We'll say they're healthy. So, all right, that is it for me, Kathy Clement, Kathy by Design. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll be back next week with the final installment on our month-long special project. And I'm also going to be coming to you really soon with the reveal of what we're going to be using in November. I know I'm running behind. I've been having a few little health challenges, just arthritis, just that. And so my time has been limited in the studio. I've had lots of different things I've had to take care of. And so I know I'm late with that, but I'll get that out to you also this week. So thanks guys for crafting with me. Go get your craft on. Bye.